Howdy ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel, and today you're gonna discover how to make a pretty cool SHOP GUI with an ability to get opened, closed, as well as buttons that react to hovering them. So if you will enjoy the tutorial, then subscribe, smash the like button, and may the mythical unicorn bless you. So, first of all, let's create a screen GUI and name it SHOP GUI. Inside, let's make a frame with anchor point set to 0.5, 0.5. Size scale is 0.4 for X and 0.7 for Y. And don't forget to set both offsets to 0. Position scale for both X and Y is 0.5, so it will be the center of my screen. The reason why I choose scale over offset is that because scale allows me to choose which part of screen will be taken by a frame, so it all won't mess up, not depending on the player's device. And now it's showtime, folks. Let's add a UI stroke with purple color and tan thickness. Right after that, create a UI corner with size set to 0.1 and 0 in offset. So congratulations, now your white empty frame is 1 billion trillion times more beautiful. Okay, so next step is to create another frame where we will store all our items. Now let's change anchor point to 0.5, 0.5. Right after that, let's change the position so it will be in the center for now. 0.5 and 0.5 for both X and Y. Now it's time to change the size. So yeah, first of all, remember to get rid of offsets, we don't need them. 0 and 0, and 0.9 for X, and 0.8, I guess, for Y. Good. Okay, now let's move it a little bit lower, so position will be 0.55 instead of 0.5. Now let's add a pretty cool thing to our frame called UI grid layout. What it actually allows us to do is when we add anything, it becomes some kind of a cells, so it creates some structure there. So we'll create some image buttons, we'll set them up, and we'll have items in each of these buttons. Let's adjust the cell size so you see the values on the screen. For offset it's of course 0, and for scale it's 0.25 for X and 0.25 for Y. So right now we have a cell, congratulations. So copy, corner and stroke to our image button, so we'll make it more beautiful, but let's change settings. For UI stroke, the thickness will be 2 and black color as a standard. Okay, so now it's time to just spam Ctrl D to duplicate our cells. We'll have like 9 of them. And let's adjust the padding and the alignment. So about alignment, we'll have center in horizontal and center in vertical, so they all will be in the center of our frame. And about the padding, padding is the distance between our cells. And that's the only case when I use offset. We'll have 25 for X and 25 for Y. Yep, now it's pretty clear. Okay, so I think it's worth adding some kind of a header here. I will add a text label, we'll make its background transparency 1. Good. Let's now make text scaled. Yep. And text itself will be shop. So like, yeah, it's a header. Now let's go to font and make it bold and choose my favorite font, Luckiest Guy. Yeah, it's pretty beautiful. Right now, let's change anchor point as always to 0.5 and 0.5. And let's change its position. So by X it will be 0.5 in scale. And for Y it will be, I think, 0.07, or yeah, let's make it 0.08. It will be better, I think. Great, we're done. Let's name it header and let's go on. So what about a close button? It will be a text button. We'll remove the background by setting the background transparency. Let's make it scaled and let's change text to X. So that's basically how I always make close buttons. anchor point 0.5, 0.5. And yeah, now let's set it up. The font will be bold and the exact font will be Fredoka 1. Yep. Now let's change the size. 0 in offsets, of course. Scale by X will be 0.3, and by Y, I think let's make it 0.1. Nah, let's make it 0.07. Pretty good, yep. Let's change the position. Let's move it to the right. So for X it will be 0.8, even more, 0.9, and for Y let's make it lower, 0.1. Too low? Okay, let's change it to higher value, so 0.06. Good. Good, good, good. Let's go on. Text color red because it stands for closing, and that's how we should color it, I think. Wait a second. So you watched almost the half of the video and you are still not subscribed? Whoa. That's a pity. But I promise you that if you will subscribe and smash the like button, I will help you on your way to succeed as a Roblox developer. Rename it into a close button for more comfortable structure, and let's name this frame shop window. So we'll have many frames later, and I think we'll get lost if we don't name them properly. Add another frame, call it shop button. We'll have a shop button there to open and close our shop menu. Anchor point is 0.5, 0.5. Let's now move it to the center. Yeah, change position. 0.5 for X and 0.1 for now for Y. Let's change the size as well. So scale 0.1. Okay. Yeah, maybe like more, 0.2 without offset. And Y offset 0 and scale 0.08. Perfect, perfect. Good. Let's just move it a little higher. So 0.08. Good. And yeah, let's change the background color to some kind of a green one. Yeah. And let's add a UI corner here so the button will look more beautiful. Offset 0 and scale 0. Okay, 1 is too low, I think. 0.5. Good. Perfect. And the next step will be to add a text button here. So let's remove the background. Let's make the size, copy the size of our parent frame. So 0 for offsets and 1 for scales. Yep, text itself is scaled and the text shop. Let's change the font. It will be bold, but the font face will be the same, I think. Yeah, so now we kind of have a button, and let's add a script. Let's script all this stuff. For more comfortable work, I'll create some variables, and I advise that to you as well. So window variable will contain our script.parent.shop window. And the button is inside shop button frame, but there is an object called text button. Okay, now let's program our button being clicked. Button.mouse button one click, which actually stands for left mouse button click, and we check if our window visible property is false. So what is window.visible? So what it checks for? We have a checkbox that opens or closes our frame, and we check whether this checkbox is false. And yeah, so if it is false, we'll play one scenario. If it's not, then we'll play another one. So if it is false, we make it true, and we'll play some kind of an animation. We'll move it from the bottom of our screen to the center of our screen. So twin position to make an animation. And yeah, so let's check out our position. Our current position is 0.50, 0.50, and it's in the center if we turn it on. Yes, But what if we will go to our position and change the Y scale value instead of 0.5 to 2? It disappeared, so it's too low now, it's out of screen. And by default it will be there. We'll just move it with the animation to the center. To set the size we use udim2.new and we assign values, so 0.5, 0, 0.5, 0. Then we just assign values like I do. Don't pay much attention to it. Yep. And 0.5 for time of animation. So it will take half a second. And if window is visible, so if it's already visible, we'll do another thing. So, of course, we'll copy the same animation. We'll just change Y scale to 2 instead of 0.5. So we'll move it out of screen. But we'll wait half a second. Because like once you run an animation, it doesn't wait. It just runs the next command right after that. And that's why we need to wait. And if we test it, everything works fine. Great job. Okay, but if we try to click the close button, nothing actually happens. What should we do with it? Let's make another variable called close button, and its object will be window.close_button. And let's make function for its being clicked. So close button, mouse button 1 clicked, connect function, and we'll just copy the code from scenario if our window is visible. So we just hide it with the animation, waiting, and making it invisible. And if we go to the game and try to test it, we'll see that it works perfectly. Yeah, that works. Congratulations. And let's move on to the next step. What I actually want to do is for my buttons to react once I hover them. So let's make something. So, I actually got all the children of my frame, so all the objects inside the frame, and I ran a loop going through all of them. So this loop will make something happen to each child of my frame. So window.frame get children. Our next step will be to assign what actually to do with each child. And the first step here is to discover whether this thing is an image button, whether this child is an image button, because we don't want to harm any other objects. So yeah, we'll check if our V object, if our child is an image button. And if it is, then we'll do something. Otherwise, we do nothing. So if mouse enters to this V object, we connect one function, and if mouse leaves, we'll connect another function. And the steps inside functions are pretty easy. What we'll do is we'll just change our stroke, its color, and thickness. So v.uistroke.color equals color3 from RGB. So we'll assign a color property. And let's just take the color from our stroke from the shop window. Yeah, this color, and UI stroke's thickness should also be changed. So thickness will be, instead of 2, we'll have 4. And let's just copy this code. And in the opposite situation, we'll just bring the default values. Black for color and 2 for thickness. And let's check what we have. So yeah, they are reacting to us hovering the image button. Great job. So we have a SHOP GUI that can be opened, closed in 2 different ways. And yeah, so basically that's it. Congratulations. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, leave a like, and once again, may the mythical unicorn bless you. And if something was unclear and you have questions, feel free to ask them in comment section. Thank you for watching. Bye.